So, welcome to our video. Let me introduce myself. I am Joseph Esneri, in short, Joseph. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Okay, our topic for today's video is all about metal. So, first, let me define what is metal. Metal is a substance with a high electrical conductivity, luster, and malleability, which readily lose electrons to form positive ions. Metals are a class of elements characterized by a tendency to give electrons. It is a good thermal and electrical conductor, usually ductile, malleable, shiny, and can form alloy with other metals. These are tremendously important to high energy society. They transport electricity to the electrical grid and provide many services. Various manufacturing processes around the world would use more than 3 gigatons of metals every year. The electrical industry uses aluminum alloy for the power lines because metal stays together inside of the metals. The electrons flow freely in a type of electron sea. Instead of sharing electrons between atoms, these electrons flow freely around the nuclei. Inside of the metals, these free-flowing electrons explain why metal conduct electricity so well, as the movement of electricity produces an electric current, and there are so many electrons that are free to move inside the metal. So let us connect metals to electricity first. So let us imagine how important are metals in electrical industry. So let us talk how important is it. Metals are important because without metal, electrical couldn't be exist. In fact, all area of electrical production and transmission requires metals. From turbines used to transform mechanical energy to electrical energy, to the distribution of stations that bring electricity at home, metals are used.
Why is metals applicable in electrical?
Good day, Mr. Laurent. I am Romel de Moral from 1B Electrical, and I'm here to report why is metal applicable to electrical. A metal is a material that, when freshly prepared, polished, or fractured, shows a lustrous appearance and conducts electricity and heat relatively well. Most metals are malleable and ductile, and they are generally denser than other pure solid materials. When something is malleable, it means that it can be molded. Metals exist on a daily basis. It is present in materials that are produced by many companies and industries. Furthermore, there are many examples of metals, like copper, silver, gold, and aluminum. These metals are one of the many examples. They're the most essential for producing other materials right now. Metals can be ductile and malleable. Metals have a high melting point due to their ability to be melted down to form another outcome. It is a good conductor of heat and electricity due to the fact that electrons can flow freely to it, considering that it is a good conductor of electricity. Speaking of electricity, many industries produce such types of equipment to be used on an electrical basis by using metals. For example, S&W Wire Company. They produces copper wires to be used in electrical circuits. It conducts electricity very well, and its physical properties enable it to be used in many ways. Copper is a soft metal, so it can be drawn out into bars and wires. It can also be bent and shaped as required. It can be joined by soldering, brazing, bolting, or welding. Copper is used for the windings of electromagnetic apparatus, motors, generators, transformers, and relays. Most coils are made from copper wire, but those intended to carry heavy current may be formed from shaped copper bars. The conducting segments of the commutator are usually made of copper, but are of the particular design and shape required to carry the particular rated current. Aside from that, the tools that have been used in repairing electrical problems are mostly made of metal. Metals are malleable, and they can be bent and shaped. This is because they consist of layers of atoms. These layers can slide over one another when the metal is bent, hammered, or pressed. The atoms can roll over each other and retain the structure of the crystal. It was an ideal material for forming other tools and equipment due to its malleable and ductile properties. The high electric conductivity of metals makes them ideal for use as electrical materials. Current and voltage can flow in metals because of its special property that allows electric current to flow. It becomes a particular reason that it becomes in demand in the market. Other properties of metals make it ductile and malleable, and because of that particular reason, it can become a new product like copper being twisted together to form a copper wire. That can be used in electrical system. To get an electrical current to flow through metals, the power source has to fight against resistivity. The lower the level of resistivity, the more electrical conductivity a metal has. And since the copper wire has a low level of resistivity, it's a fantastic electrical conductor. Electrical tools are made of metals and are used to work on an electrical system. These can include a wide range of tools such as wire and cable cutters, wire strippers, coaxial compression tools, telephony tools, cable tie tools, accessories, screwdrivers, and even more. Equipment that is used in electrical work is also made of metal. For example, the electrical motor core material is already knee-deep in powder metal, or at least has the potential to leverage the advantages of powder metallurgy. So, what are the materials used in motor components made of? Powder metal for motors generally consists of iron, nickel, and cobalt. To sum up everything that has been stated so far, metals are important and necessary in the electrical industry because they are good conductors of electricity. Aside from that, the fact being stated, they can also produce another results that can help our electrical industries improve and grow. That will be all. Thank you.
We're talking about metals.
First, silver. Silver is the best conductor of electricity because it contains a higher number of movable atoms, free electrons, for a material to be a good conductor. The electricity passed through is almost able to move the electrons. The more free electron is the metal, the greater its conductivity. However, silver is more expensive than other materials. It is not normally used unless it is required for specialized equipment like satellites or circuit board. Explain. Second is a copper. Copper is less conductive than silver but is a cheaper and commonly used and effective conductor is household appliances. Most wear a copper plate and electromagnetic cores are not normally wrapped. A copper wire is also easy to solder and wrap into wires, so it is often used when a large amount of conductive material is required before. Second is gold. While gold is a good electric conductor and it doesn't tarnish when exposed to the air, it is too expensive for common use. Individual properties make it ideal for specific purposes. Next is aluminum. Aluminum can conduct electricity, but it does not conduct electricity as well as copper. Aluminum from electrically instant excited surface of electrical connection, which can cause the connection or overheat. High voltage transmission lines, which encased in steel of additional protection, use aluminum. Next is bronze. Bronze is an electrically conductive alloy rather than an element. Next, buko bigay. Next is iron. Iron has metallic bond, which is where the electrons are free to move around more than one atom. This is called equalization. Because of this, iron is a good conductor. Next is a platinum. Platinum is an element with a high electrical conductivity. It is more ductile than gold, silver, or copper. It is less malleable than gold. The metal has excellent resistance to corrosion, is stable to high temperatures, and has stable electrical properties. Next, steel. Steel is a conductor and an alloy of iron. Steel is typically used to encase other conductors because it is an inflexible and highly compressive metal when exposed to air. Next is lead. Although lead compounds can be good insulator, pure lead is a metal that conducts electricity, making it a poor insulator. Lead's resistivity in a 22 billionths of a meter is used of electrical conduct. Because being a relative soft metal, it deforms easily when thinly and makes a solid connection. For example, the connectors for the batteries are typically made of lead. A car starter motor draws over 100 amperes of current briefly, requiring a photo-sequence reconnection to the battery explained. Good day everyone, my name is Claire Marinard. We are going to tackle about metals. A metal is a material that when freshly prepared, polished, or fractured, show the lusters or appearance and conducts electricity and heat. Relatively well, metals are typically ductile, can be drawn into wires, and malleable. They can be harmed into thin-sheet. Metal conduct electricity because they have a free electrons. Unlike most other form of matter, metallic bonding is unique because of electrons are not bound of particular atom. This allows the decolonized electrons to flow the response to the potential difference. Most of wire we use of the daily basis are made of copper. Have you ever wondered why? Well, copper is a metal are good conductor of electricity. Metal consists of variable electrically charged particles known as electrons. When you apply electric charge to it, electrons move and allow electricity to pass through. Now, there are certain exceptions to with insulators being one, are certain exceptions to with insulator being one of these have low electron mobility. This blog has covered everything about metals and electricity. Just give it a read and clarify your doubts regarding the same. This is an example of metals: silver, copper, gold, aluminum, bronze, iron, platinum, steel, and lead. I will give you an idea why these some of metal are best conductor of electricity.
How does metal, connected to the life of an engineer,
Good day, Mr. Laurel. I'm reporting how does metal connected to the life of an engineer. We reside in a world of things that study development, design, and operation process that turn raw materials into valuable engineering products aimed at enhancing quality of our lives are the current responsibilities of the materials of engineers. Metals were at the vanguard of technology thanks to the Industrial Revolution, and today they are the basic cornerstones of our contemporary society. It is impossible to imagine a world without electronics, transportation, infrastructure, structures, and machines. Most people agree that future advancement in a metal and material technologies will play a significant role in our ability to advance economically and technically in the 21st century. For instance, breakthroughs in a material that aren't currently possible will be necessary. For energy technology advancement, such the widespread use of nuclear fusion, for today's material scientists and engineers who pick metallurgy as. Thank you, Mr. Lauren.